Hello guys, it's Joshua Hawes. As you can tell by the title of the video, I'm doing my review on the movie Wonder Woman. The next movie in the DCEU, the final movie before Justice League, which we'll get into that when we get into that. So without further ado, this long this came out in 2017 without this long intro. Let's just get into the good of this film, because I'm gonna go to good and we'll go from there. So this first, the good and the biggest spotlight in this film, which shows how great the film is, I've already told you my opinion, is Gal Gadot's portrayal of Wonder Woman. It is I don't know her from the comics that well, but she is incredibly good at that character. She plays that character perfectly, and the way she reacts when going into the human world, a world that she's never experienced, makes sense, but it's not, because she's never been there, but it's not at the point where it makes her look dumb. So, which is something I loved. And the one thing I also liked, this didn't feel like a stereotypical girl power kind of film. There is elements of that, but they feel more, shall I say, and it's not presented as that. It's just presented as a badass doing some cool stuff, because that's what Wonder Woman is. She's a brilliant fighter. The action in this film is fantastic. The action. My favourite action spot is in the entire film is one in the trailer, is when she goes out of the trench to go battle No Man's Land. And I won't go too into how that goes, but that entire action sequence, that long action sequence that doesn't even end in No Man's Land, that's all I'll say, is generally the highlight of this film. It is fantastic. Another thing is that they also present the story that she's going through, what she's mentally, and how she learns and progresses as a character throughout the film. She has new understanding of humans. Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman and had a great chemistry with Chris Pine's Trevor, I believe that's his name, of the actor who plays Trevor. Their chemistry is fantastic. They work really well together, and there are some other main-ish characters, but they're just kind of there, and they don't have this huge role, but they help her understand the world. The Amazons, where she's from, the Amazons, that is a very interesting kind of world, and her story and it's whatever's connected. It's interesting, and I really like that. But it really gets going once she's left her country to go to the UK, and just also especially with all the especially conceived notions of beliefs of women during that time. As around this time, I don't think women even had the vote yet. I don't think they even had the vote yet at that time. And they weren't allowed to go to war at all, enter an important building for politics. The way it kind of shows that, and that's interesting for someone as good as she is, as much of a warrior as she is, going into this world and experiencing everything. And I personally believe you probably should have had this film before Batman v Superman, because it makes, with that knowledge, those scenes felt really cool when she's in there. And the other one, if you watched it after Batman v Superman, it just those shots in Batman v Superman, it catches your attention. You're like, that's pretty good, but it's not cool. And because this film kind of starts with her future self talking about past self, because this is set in World War One. So you could easily just take that out, and you can still have the main core movie and the lesson, and then you can have the end tie into let's get into the mixed. There's not a lot to say about this film. It's just a very simple, brilliant film, and the conflict that Wonder Woman's going for. Let's go for the mix. One thing, this doesn't affect me, but it might affect other people, is that the action scene at the end is, the final battles are very stereotypical superhero action scene, and I think it's really good. I love that sequence. I'd probably still say that scene is better and the highlight of this film. But this, I thought, was really good, but I understand why people wouldn't necessarily think that. And another issue you could say, if you're wanting this film to help build off to Justice League, which is the next film, this is not very important to the rest of the world, apart from you just get to know a character. Yes, there is a little kind of thing that ties it, but it's nothing major, and it can easily be taken out. You lose nothing from the film, so it doesn't really build up for the Justice League movie, which is you know, a bit annoying, but I don't really have an issue with it. So that's all I feel like I have to say about this film, and it is an incredible film, better than Man of Steel, which means it's the best DCEU movie so far as I'm going through these. I would give this an 8.8 out of 10. I gave Man of Steel an 8.5, so an 8.8 out of 10 I feel like is a worthy number for this film. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on so you never miss a video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye guys!